Hey, Richest, you money maniacs, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about something that is really exciting and very interesting to watch. The price of silver. Let's get right to it. Hey, Richest, you money maniacs, welcome back. Tom coming at you. This video is going to talk very specifically about the price of silver. Now, that does not mean that the price of gold isn't important too. I want to get into this a little bit, but before I show you what I found online and show you actually in real time as I'm filming this what it looks like, I want to explain something. Because the US dollar is losing so much value because of the hyperinflation that's coming, and also because they're printing so much money at the Federal Reserve, a lot of folks are asking, where can I put my money or my currency that it's safe? Should I put it into a 401k and the stock market's going up? Should I put it into municipal bonds? They're always safe. Or treasury bills, they're always safe. They're backed by US debt. Should I put it into a savings account? I might not make much, but at least it'll be safe there. Should I just stick it under my bed? And actually, when that question is asked of me, I have three very specific things that I prefer personally to put my money in, not just currency. I mean money that I've earned, the value that I've earned in providing services to people, or products even to people. So there's a big difference, and if you don't understand that, make sure you reference my video on the difference between currency and money, or even watch Mike Maloney and the hidden secrets of money. So basically, these are really great references to get started. So this video is taking it from the vantage point that you understand the difference between money, the abstract idea of value, and currency, and actually how currency is not a store of value. So back to silver. My three preferences are precious metals, silver and gold, and laser funds. And laser funds, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know are indexed universal life insurance contracts, indexed against the market. They're not actually in the market. And one of the reasons insurance is so safe is because the industry actually protects itself. It's a very protected industry. There's a whole bunch of more details that I'm not going to go into in this video for that. So those are the three things where I like to store my value. A laser fund, which produces tax-free interest and tax-free benefits out the wazoo. And then also silver and gold, because silver and gold consistently perform well. Even when they go down, they still do better than the stock market average. The average everybody talks about for a long-term investment on the stock market is 4%. Well, when you're dealing with inflation, hyperinflation, and poor economic and financial policy by an entire nation and now by the entire world, that 4% is out the window. Which is why a lot of folks are getting to their retirement age and discovering that they don't have near the buying power, near the value they thought they had. You know, a good example of this, I keep seeing videos that talk about if you have $1 million in your 401k. Well, actually, if you have $1 million in your 401k, you can only legally pull out about $2,000 a month and not run out of money. If you pull out more than that, you know, you're still suffering all the deferred taxes, right, which are higher than when you first started putting money in. But now it's to the point where people are living longer too, that you got to plan to live longer, and therefore that $1 million doesn't last as long as you thought it was going to last, especially with higher prices. And now everybody's out of work and everybody's looking for this and everybody's having health challenges. And I mean, $1 million, that sounds like one heart, bypass surgery. That's just one surgery, and that's only a partial payment. So let's go back to the idea here. What I want to show you is a screenshot in real time of what I'm looking at. Now, you'll be watching this video later, so it won't be as accurate, but you'll be able to go to the same website, usdebtclock.org, and see in real time what the numbers are for you right now when you're watching this video. You don't have to just watch what I'm seeing. You can actually see it in real time for yourself. Now, this is a really eye-opening website, so you may want to make sure you sit down when you look at it, okay? It's extraordinary the amount of money that our elected officials have kind of just flitted away. It's just gone. They're so busy building empires and trying to pay for everybody's life, and they're paying for everybody's happiness and everybody's health and everybody's pursuit of happiness and everybody's whatever, all these people's feelings and all the things that they want, all this so that they have the power to control everybody. But that's a whole different video. We won't talk about that. So let's go right to this screenshot, and I'm going to show you and explain a couple things about what's happening. But the things in particular that I'm going to focus on are the price of silver, especially silver, because I'm very fond of it right now, and also the price of gold and what it should be. Now, here's something you need to understand too before we look at this screen. When I say what it should be, what that means is in a free market, which we do not have in the United States. Anybody who tells you we have a free market is clearly naive or just ignorant or delusional. What is occurring right now is the Federal Reserve is printing money. Well, they type numbers into a computer in an account that doesn't have anything in it, and suddenly, poof, there's money. As soon as the United States Treasury takes that and says, okay, we're going to go buy stuff with this phony account. We got a credit card, let's go spend it, right? As soon as they spend it, then there's suddenly currency. That's how it happens. They don't even bother printing it anymore. So that's the first thing you have to understand, and maybe you've never heard that before, and if you haven't, then watch some of the other videos that I talk about and explain that process, or Mike Maloney again. But what's happening is they're printing so much currency, so many dollar bills, that the prices of things naturally are starting to go up, because that's what happens when you hyperinflate, when you inflate currency supply. You put more currency into the market than is actually called for by the marketplace. Now, while we have a manipulated market, that doesn't mean that the market pressures aren't still very real. And so what's occurring right now is that the Federal Reserve is starting to get to the point where there's nothing else they can do. They've dropped interest rates to zero. They've printed to the sky, to infinity and beyond. And they've done all kinds of market manipulations. They're actually buying junk bonds and junk stocks through BlackRock. I mean, they're doing all kinds of illegal things too to try and prop up the economy and make it look like, please just keep it rolling a little bit longer while all of our friends and all of our crony compatriots get their value out before it crashes, right? So everybody's trying to get as much, milk this cow as much as they can before it just completely disintegrates right before their very eyes. And then they all sit on their beaches and wait for the rest of us to clean up their mess again, and then they swoop in and lay claim to ownership again. But again, that's another video. So back to it. Silver and gold are what I'm going to show you on this clock. And I want you to notice that the price of silver and gold is marked on this clock where it should be compared to the ratio of currency in circulation. See, that's a very important element you need to understand. Because they're pushing so much currency into the market, the natural thing is for the price of things to go up, because that currency has less power to buy things. It has less value because you're just printing it. You're not doing anything to earn that value, right? You're not even going and digging in the ground to create, find gold and then turn it into coins or anything. But that's another video. So keep that in mind when I show you this screen and the price of silver and gold compared to the number of dollar bills in the marketplace globally. All right, so let's go to this screenshot. Okay, so this is usdebtclock.org. And the numbers that you're watching are coming to you right now on Sunday, July 19th, 2020 at 1:06 p.m. on the West Coast. So it'll be a little bit later for anybody on the East Coast. But now you'll be able to go to this website and get real-time numbers for yourself. And look how exciting this is. The U.S. national debt is at $26 trillion. $26,539,453,700,800,000, 900,000, 1 million. I mean, as the seconds tick by, hundreds of thousands of dollars being spent by our elected officials every second of every day. Can you imagine if we just sat here for an hour and you could collect that money for yourself? You'd be set for life. Now, if this is our national debt, 26 trillion, Who's going to pay that? Debt per citizen, $80,000 at $80,417 per debt per citizen. All right, but what is the debt per taxpayer? Oh, not including children or people who are tax exempt or illegal aliens or whoever else happens to sneak into the country, is actually $213,276. Now notice that when I'm putting my cursor over this number, this information comes up at the top here where usdebtclock.org was. So it explains that number for you. How convenient is that? The debt per taxpayer equals the U.S. national debt divided by the number of U.S. taxpayers. But what I want to draw your attention to is way down here. Dollar to silver ratio now. And as it says at the top, the year-over-year increase in the U.S. M2 money supply, which is currency in circulation, divided by the yearly world production of silver in ounces. So the production of silver in ounces. This is very important to understand, and also will explain to you why it's so exciting right now to get into silver or into gold, because the dollar to silver ratio right now, by just dividing those simple numbers and no fancy accounting or false mirrors or smoke and mirrors and look over here, it should be at $3,898 per ounce of silver. Think about that. But the spot price for silver right now is between $18 and $21. In fact, if you go to buy physical silver, it's probably going to cost you $21 to $25 if you go and just purchase it, unless you find a really good deal and then grab it. But even if it were $50 an ounce, what it really should be, according to this website, is $3,898 per ounce. Now, here's an interesting thing too. Right below that it says dollar to silver ratio in 1913. Why is that important? What is 1913? Well, that was when the Federal Reserve came in, right? So the dollar to silver ratio in 1913 was $2.65 per ounce. This is important because when the dollar was first created, it was meant to be $1 bought 1 ounce of gold, which means it would buy $1 would buy more than 1 ounce of silver. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. So let's go to the gold dollar to gold ratio now, currently. And remember, this is the year-over-year increase in the U.S. M2 money supply, currency in circulation, divided by the yearly world production of gold in ounces. It should be, the price of gold should be, according to the currency that's in circulation, $32,331 per ounce. Now, if anybody's paying attention to what the actual price of gold is between 17, 18, and starting to creep up to 19 and maybe even 2,000. But even if it were at 5,000, it's still low. That means that the upside for gold and the upside for silver are incredible. Now look at this one, dollar to gold ratio for 1913. $28.85 per ounce. What happened? That was back in 1913. You could buy an ounce of gold for $28.85. What happened to $1 per ounce of gold? Holy cow, look how far we've fallen. $32,331 per ounce of gold. That's what it should take. Now, is that what the ETFs and spot prices say? No, not nearly. Does that give you any glimpse into how completely manipulated the market is actually? There is not a free market out there, folks. If you've been saying that it's capitalism and it's the free market's fault that everybody is having such a tough time, you need to pay close attention to this website, usdebtclock.org, because the Federal Reserve, since their inception in 1913, have done nothing but destroy the value of the dollar. The dollar does not hold or store value. It's currency, and worse, it's a fake currency. It's not even fractional gold. It was originally based $1 equals 1 ounce of gold. And that would be the ratio right here, dollar to gold ratio now. It should say $1 per ounce. it should say something for silver like 50 cents per ounce. But that is not even close, which means that you're paying more and more to buy bread, to buy milk, to pay your rent, to pay for heat, to pay for water. All those things are more expensive because our elected officials can't stop spending. This is like talking to a heroin addict and asking them to go to rehab. So there you have it. This is why I am so completely excited about silver as an investment and gold as an investment. Once this ratio gets closer and silver starts to go up and creep closer and closer to the price of gold, then you'll see I will personally switch my holdings from silver into gold ounces. Although one of the reasons I would hesitate there also, and I've said this in other videos, is that the government, when they get desperate, confiscate gold. They did it in the past and they're getting desperate again now. So they may confiscate gold, which is another reason I'm more excited about silver, because silver is used as an industrial metal. That means that they won't confiscate this. They can't. It gets used in cell phones. It gets used in computers. It gets used in health and beauty products. It gets used in silverware, literally. So they won't confiscate silver, but they will confiscate gold. So if you have a whole bunch of silver and the price ratio of silver starts to go up, you have a better chance of not only enjoying that value and collateralizing that silver, but you also have a better chance of actually retaining the silver. So there you go. Make sure you check out usdebtclock.org. So there you have it. You've seen firsthand the price of silver is extraordinarily undervalued right now, and the price of gold even is extraordinarily undervalued. If you were ever considering a time in your life to get into precious metals, now is the time. That does not take away or diminish the value of a laser fund as well. If you can do both, then do both. You don't even need a lot for a laser fund. Just $100 a month will get you started. And once you have one going, it's easy to start others and just grow and leverage and leverage and leverage. And they're really wonderful tools to work with. But the silver ratio and the gold ratio are what you want to keep a really close eye on. And what you're going to find right now, too, is that when you go to buy physical silver, because you don't want paper ETFs, you don't want a promissory note that, here, we'll sell you this for your 100 ounces of gold. It's a piece of paper that says, we owe you 100 ounces. No, no, no. You want someone to ship the actual physical metal to you. What you'll find when you do that, though, is that it's getting very difficult to be able to get the physical gold and physical silver. I mean, geez, I just did a video on fake gold in China's reserves. And now, of course, you've got a senator from Wyoming calling for an audit of the U.S. gold reserves because no one's done it since Eisenhower. Can you imagine? How much gold is even there? We don't know. Is it real? Do we have the same challenge that China has? There's no way to know, at least at this point. And everybody's actually scared to check. That's the funniest part. They're afraid to check. Now there's a whole nother video right there waiting to happen, which I probably will do very soon for you. But for now you've seen it firsthand for yourself. The price of silver is most definitely going to go up. The price of gold is most definitely going to go up. The trick is to buy silver cheaper, and then when the ratio of silver and gold start to get closer, then switch over to the gold. And silver may actually overtake gold for a short period. That would be really exciting. But silver is definitely, in my opinion, the thing I'm going to keep investing in. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.